Nothing happens by chance. The fact that you're here right now, listening to these words, isn't a coincidence. Everything you've experienced up to this moment, your doubts, challenges, thoughts, and even the simplest choices, has brought you exactly to this point. And this very moment might just be the turning point that changes everything. Jacobo Grinberg dedicated his life to studying consciousness and revealed a powerful secret. Reality is malleable. In other words, what you perceive as the world around you is actually a reflection of what's happening inside you. Once you truly understand and embrace this principle, your life can make a quantum leap in just 24 hours. But before revealing the key to transformation, write in the comments, "I am ready to awaken." This simple act is already a signal to the universe that you're prepared for change. Shall we go together? Most people live with the feeling that something is missing, as if they're trapped in a repetitive routine, not understanding why certain opportunities never seem to appear. They strive and try to change, yet always end up in the same place. This isn't about bad luck or fate. It's a hidden mental program installed over the course of your life that prevents transformation. Jacobo Grinberg discovered that reality isn't fixed or unchangeable. On the contrary, it responds to your perception and to what you believe is possible. The problem is, most people don't realize they carry deeply rooted limiting beliefs. Beliefs like change takes time, I'm not lucky, or life is hard. These aren't absolute truths, but filters that distort the way you interact with the world. Here's the crucial point. Change doesn't have to be slow. When you understand that the universe responds to your inner state, you realize that transformation can happen in an instant, like a mental click, a sudden awakening. But why doesn't this happen for everyone? Because we were conditioned to believe that reality is beyond our control. From a young age, we learn that our lives are governed by external factors: the government, the economy, luck, time. And no one ever taught us that the true power lies within our own mind. Grinberg referred to this as the illusion of separation, the false idea that we are isolated and disconnected from the flow of life. The truth, however, is that your mind is already creating your reality right now. You simply need to learn how to direct that power where you want it to go. And here's a fundamental detail: your perception can change in just 24 hours. There are moments in life when everything suddenly makes sense. And from that moment on, nothing is ever the same again. The question is, are you ready to see the truth and break free from this cycle? If so, keep reading, because in the next few minutes, you will learn exactly how to reprogram your mind and see the universe respond almost instantly. If anyone truly understood how the mind works and its influence on reality, it was Jacobo Grinberg. Unlike traditional scientists, he didn't limit himself to conventional explanations from psychology or neuroscience. His work went further, exploring the field of consciousness, the connection between thought and matter, and the mysteries of perception. Grinberg studied Mexican shamans and delved into altered states of consciousness, seeking to understand how the human mind can literally shape the world around it. He proposed that there is a matrix of reality, an information field that directly responds to our perceptions and intentions. In other words, what you believe and feel with intensity determines what you experience in life. But there's something even more intriguing. His research suggested that transformation can happen in an instant. He described moments of absolute clarity, when the mind awakens to a new level of perception. And when that happens, reality reorganizes itself according to that new vision. And that's exactly what you're about to learn: how to trigger this awakening and transform your life in just 24 hours. Look back on your life, and you'll notice key moments, those instances when something changed within you, and from that point on, nothing was the same. Maybe it was a conversation, a book, or an unexpected event, but the truth is, a single shift in perception can completely redefine your reality. Jacobo Grinberg called this a leap in consciousness, a phenomenon where, in a single moment, a person awakens to a new way of seeing the world. It's as if suddenly the veil of illusion is torn away, allowing you to see the truth that was always there, though previously hidden. What's most fascinating is that this awakening doesn't depend on time, effort, or suffering. Many believe that major changes require years of hard work. But the science of consciousness shows us that transformation happens in the now. When a limiting belief is dissolved and a new understanding takes deep root in your mind, everything around you starts to reorganize to reflect that change. Have you ever experienced that? Has something that once seemed impossible become simple because you began to see things differently? That's because your perception creates your reality. Now, the great secret: you can intentionally trigger this awakening. You don't have to wait for chance to bring about transformation. You can activate it yourself. And the most powerful way to do that is by asking yourself the right question. What if everything I was taught about reality is wrong? Allow yourself to question. What if life isn't a series of random circumstances, but an exact reflection of your inner world? What if you already possess the power to create the reality you desire, but you were simply never taught how to use it? Just contemplating this possibility begins to open doors in your perception. Your mind, once locked into a fixed pattern, becomes receptive to the unexpected, the extraordinary, the impossible becoming possible. In the next few minutes, we're going to explore exactly how this matrix of reality works and how you can harness it to transform your life in just 24 hours. Since birth, we've been taught to see the world in a fixed, limited way. We learn that reality is something external to us, that circumstances determine our lives, and that we have little control over what happens. But what if all that is an illusion? Jacobo Grinberg spent years studying what he called the matrix of reality, an invisible information field where everything is interconnected. According to his findings, there is no separation between you and the universe. Reality isn't something that happens to you, it's something that happens from within you. This means that every thought, emotion, and belief acts like a command that shapes your experiences. If you believe life is hard, your brain filters all your experiences to confirm that belief. If you believe rapid change is impossible, that's what your reality will reflect. But if you change your perception, the world around you will respond accordingly. Science has already shown that the human brain doesn't distinguish between what is real and what is imagined. Studies reveal that when we vividly visualize something with strong emotions, the same areas of the brain light up as if we were actually experiencing it. In other words, your mind is already creating your reality even before you act in the physical world. The question is, how have you been using that power? Most people are caught in an unconscious cycle. They wake up, feel the same emotions, repeat the same thoughts, and make the same decisions. Without realizing it, they reinforce a programming that keeps life exactly as it is. They think they're living reality, but they're merely replaying old patterns. If you want transformation in 24 hours, the first step is to break this cycle. You need to become aware that you're constantly creating your reality, albeit often in an automatic and uncontrolled way. Once you awaken to this power, everything changes. In the coming minutes, you'll learn techniques to consciously access this matrix and manifest new experiences in your life. What once seemed impossible will begin to happen naturally because your perception will finally align with your true power. For centuries, science taught us that reality is objective, solid, and independent of our perception. However, quantum physics challenges that notion and reveals something astonishing. The external world isn't fixed, but influenced by the observer's consciousness. Jacobo Grinberg delved deeply into the relationship between the mind and reality and arrived at a bold conclusion. The universe isn't a rigid material structure, but a malleable field of possibilities. Moreover, he discovered that consciousness acts as a filter, choosing, among infinite possibilities, which ones will manifest in your life. One of the most famous experiments in quantum physics, the double-slit experiment, demonstrated that subatomic particles like electrons can behave both as solid particles and as energy waves. What's even more intriguing is that this change in behavior depends on human observation. When a scientist observes the particle, it behaves one way. When unobserved, it behaves differently. This suggests that consciousness influences matter on a fundamental level. Now, think about this. If subatomic particles, which make up everything around us, respond to observation, what does that say about the way you view your life? If you constantly focus on problems, scarcity, and limitations, your field of perception filters reality to reinforce those experiences. But if you change your perception, the very structure of your life begins to reorganize. Grinberg believed that the matrix of reality functions like a giant hologram, where the observer and the observed are parts of the same whole. This means that what you expect from life directly influences what you receive. If you believe change takes years, that's what you'll experience. But if you believe your life can transform in 24 hours, that possibility becomes real for you. So how do you use this knowledge to consciously alter your reality? In the next few minutes, you'll learn techniques to access this quantum field and manifest immediate changes in your life. Science has already proven that the world responds to your consciousness. Now, you're going to learn how to harness that to your advantage. If reality responds to your consciousness, then the key to transforming your life lies in how you think, feel, and perceive the world. The problem is that more often than not, this perception is programmed by unconscious conditioning that reinforces limitations. But what if it were possible to reprogram your mind and completely change your reality in just 24 hours? Jacobo Grinberg maintained that the human brain is a translator of reality. It doesn't just perceive the world, but constructs it based on the filters it carries. What does that mean? That if you change those internal filters, the very structure of your life begins to shift. Here's a practical method to make that change happen quickly. Breaking the pattern. The first step for immediate transformation is to interrupt the repetitive cycle of thoughts and emotions that keep your life stuck. This can be done with a jolt to your perception. Ask yourself right now, if I woke up tomorrow with no memory of my past, what would I believe was possible? This question forces your mind to break free from autopilot and opens the door to new possibilities. When you set aside the stories you've always told yourself, you begin to see that there are no fixed rules limiting what can happen in your life. The quantum visualization technique. Quantum physics suggests that everything exists as a wave of possibilities until observed. This means that your life holds countless possible versions waiting to be chosen. To reprogram your mind, follow this exercise. Close your eyes and take a deep breath. Imagine that tonight, as you sleep, your mind is completely reprogrammed. Visualize yourself waking up tomorrow with a new perspective on life. See yourself as more confident, lighter, and more attuned to the opportunities around you. Feel this change as if it were happening right now. The secret of this technique lies in emotion. The more you feel that this new version of yourself already exists, the faster your mind will accept this new programming. The 24-hour ritual. Now that your mind is open to a new reality, you need to reinforce this change throughout the day. Here's what you should do over the next 24 hours. Avoid negative thoughts. Whenever a limiting thought arises, replace it with, "It's already changing." Speak and act as your best self. Constantly ask, "What would the most successful version of me do now?" And act accordingly. Notice the signs. Throughout the day, pay attention to the small synchronistic events that appear as confirmations of your shifting frequency. These practices, when done with conscious intensity, have the power to completely transform your perception and consequently your reality in just 24 hours. The universe has its own language. It doesn't communicate through words, but through events, patterns, and recurring signs that, when observed closely, reveal a hidden intelligence shaping reality. When you experience a consciousness awakening like the one we're exploring here, answers begin to appear all around you, yet most people ignore these signs because they've been conditioned to believe that everything is random. Jacobo Grinberg studied in depth how the mind interacts with reality and discovered that what we perceive as the external world is, in fact, a reflection of our internal state. When you change your mental and emotional frequency, reality reorganizes itself to mirror that change. But how does this happen? Here's where one of the most intriguing concepts in metaphysics comes in: synchronicity. Synchronicity is a phenomenon where seemingly random events carry deep meaning for those experiencing them. Imagine thinking of someone and suddenly that person sends you a message, or pondering a question and, on the same day, coming across a book or video that answers it exactly. These coincidences aren't isolated incidents, they're mathematical patterns manifesting in the fabric of reality. Carl Jung, the renowned Swiss psychologist, defined synchronicity as the meaningful connection between events without an apparent causal link. But behind this psychological concept lies something much larger: the sacred mathematics of the universe. Modern physics suggests that reality isn't a chaotic sequence of events, but a precise mathematical structure. Numerical sequences like the golden ratio and the Fibonacci series appear in everything in nature, from the arrangement of flower petals to the spiral of galaxies. This indicates that the universe follows hidden mathematical patterns. If life follows a numerical logic, then synchronicity can be seen as an alignment between your consciousness and that invisible mathematical structure. When you start noticing patterns, such as repeated numbers, 111, 222, 333, unexpected encounters, or messages that seem like direct answers to your thoughts, it means your mental frequency is resonating with the matrix of reality. It's as if the universe is confirming that you're on the right path. What should you do when these signs appear? Trust and act on them. Intuition is the bridge between your conscious mind and that hidden intelligence. If a sign stirs something within you, follow that impulse. This is the most direct way to let your transformation complete itself. Now that you understand how reality responds to your perception and how the universe's signs reveal the path to transformation, there's one final step. Act according to this new awareness. True change doesn't happen only on a mental level. It must be integrated into your daily life. Most people awaken to new ideas only to fall back into old patterns because they don't put that knowledge into action. Jacobo Grinberg emphasized that intellectual understanding isn't enough. For your reality to change concretely, you must align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with this new frequency. Here's the essential point. When you start receiving signs, you need to act immediately. If a new path opens up, even if it seems uncertain or outside your comfort zone, move forward. The universe operates through movement, and if you hesitate, you lose the moment of resonance with the synchronicity that has manifested. But how do you act without falling into impulsive or directionless behavior? The key is distinguishing between forced action and inspired action. Forced action is driven by fear, scarcity, or the need for control. It's when you act out of desperation, without trusting the flow of life. Inspired action, on the other hand, comes from a state of clarity, as if something inside you knows that this is the next step. It's that idea that excites you, that impulse that feels right, even without a logical explanation. The universe responds to what you're willing to do with what you already know. This means you don't need to see the whole path. Just take the first step and trust that the next one will be revealed. Here's a commitment you can make right now. In the next 24 hours, take one action that reflects this new perception. It could be a decision, a conversation, or a new habit, something that symbolizes your commitment to change. Those who put this knowledge into practice never see life the same way again. Now that you have this awareness, there's only one choice. Continue down the same path or embrace your true power to transform. This is your moment. The universe has already started to move. What will you do next? Imagine for a moment that you're already living the life you've always dreamed of. You wake up in the morning with a sense of lightness, knowing that every step you take is guided by something greater. The difficulties that once seemed insurmountable now fit together like pieces of a puzzle that finally makes sense. You feel exactly where you're meant to be. Now, return to the present and realize that this feeling already exists within you. It isn't in the future, nor does it depend on external circumstances. All that's needed for this new reality to manifest is internal alignment. Jacobo Grinberg claimed that the human mind works like a hologram. Change one part and the entire structure shifts. The truth is, throughout your life you've already had glimpses of this transformation. Perhaps in an unexpected moment when you felt an inexplicable certainty that something greater was guiding your path, or when an unlikely event opened a door you didn't even know existed. These moments weren't coincidences. They were signs that your consciousness was expanding. Now you're at one of those moments again. Your intuition knows it. You feel that something inside you has already begun to change. What will you do with that feeling? Will you ignore it, as you have so many times before? Or will you finally act as the person you were born to be? Now that you understand the power you have over your reality, there's just one question left. Are you willing to use this knowledge? Or will you let it slip away, as you've done so many times before? If you've made it this far, it means that something inside you has already started to awaken. You've realized that life doesn't happen by chance, that the universe responds to your intention, and that transformation can occur in an instant. But for this change to solidify, you need to take that first step, and that step starts right now. Subscribe to the channel to keep receiving content that deepens this journey of awakening and self-transformation. Here, you'll find not only knowledge, but practical tools to apply this new perception to your daily life. Also, write in the comments, "I take ownership of my new reality." This simple act reinforces your commitment to change and creates a powerful collective energy of transformation. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who also needs to hear it.